the brutal heart of the last ice age, when temperatures could kill within minutes, humans did something science still can't fully explain. While glaciers devoured continents and winds carved flesh from bone, tiny groups of people built homes that stayed warm without a single flame. No fire pits, no fuel technology, yet they thrived through winters colder than Antarctica today. For decades, archaeologists dismissed it as myth until the evidence emerged. Buried beneath frozen soil, perfectly engineered. Ice Age shelters that rewrote everything we thought we knew about human survival. This is the story of the fireless homes of the Ice Age and the lost engineering that kept humanity alive when the world itself froze solid. 20,000 years ago, the world froze. Across Eurasia's storms-buried landscapes beneath endless snow, temperatures plunged below 40 C. Yet deep in that frozen world, scattered across Ukraine, Siberia, and France, archaeologists have discovered something that shouldn't exist. Homes built by Ice Age humans that stayed warm without fire. The discovery began at a site in Prehistoric, Ukraine. What looked like a strange, circular pile of mammoth bones turned out to be an ancient home. Dozens of these bone houses appeared across the steppe, perfectly shaped, partially buried, and layered with hides, clay, and snow. The shock came later. Thermal scans of these reconstructions revealed internal warmth, steady, comfortable temperatures of nearly 15 degrees Celsius, even with no evidence of central fire pits. Somehow, these people had cracked a survival code modern engineers are still trying to understand: how to generate heat by trapping cold. These were not desperate cave dwellers hiding from the wind. They were designers, builders, and scientists of survival. People who understood their environment better than most of us do today. They lived inside the cold, but the cold didn't live inside them. The first secret lay beneath their feet. Ice Age humans built downward, carving shallow pits into the frozen ground, not upward into the wind. The soil itself became insulation. Even during the harshest winters, the earth a few feet below the surface stayed close to freezing, never as deadly cold as the open air above. By sinking their shelters 3 to 5 feet deep, they tapped into what we now call geothermal stability, nature's own heating system. Inside these semi-buried homes, body heat was enough to lift temperatures by several degrees. With 4 or 5 people inside, that meant survival-level warmth. But that was only the foundation. Their materials turned primitive huts into thermal machines. Mammoth bones formed strong frameworks. Their porous structure trapped air, adding insulation. Hides from mammoths and reindeer lined the interiors, often greased with fat to make them waterproof and windproof. Around these, they packed layers of moss, dry grass, and snow. Yes, snow. To the modern mind, that sounds absurd. But snow is an extraordinary insulator, a thick shell of compacted snow traps, air pockets, blocking heat loss. The colder it gets, the more tightly it seals. In modern physics terms, they created a closed-loop microclimate, a home that stabilized its own temperature by using nature's extremes. Archaeologists now know that even without a flame, each body inside produced around 100 watts of heat. Multiply that by several people, add the trapped warmth of the earth and the air-sealed snow dome above, and the result is astonishing. Homes that could maintain livable warmth through months of darkness, with no fire, no fuel, no smoke. But warmth wasn't their only achievement. These ancient shelters were alive systems that breathed, adapted, and even protected their people automatically. At excavation sites like Kostenki and Dolnivas, researchers found that entrances were never random. They were always positioned away from prevailing winds, often angled slightly downward. This created a pressure system that allowed air to circulate naturally, fresh oxygen in, moist air out without losing heat. That's passive ventilation, invented tens of thousands of years before the concept had a name. When modern engineers tested 3D airflow models of these structures, they realized something incredible. Even without chimneys or vents, internal air stayed breathable while retaining warmth. The same effect used in today's passive house designs. Some structures went further. At the Mezin site in Russia, layers of crushed bone and clay formed composite walls that acted like early versions of aerated concrete. In cold weather, those walls compressed slightly, reducing airflow and sealing heat even tighter. In other words, the homes improved as the temperature dropped. They didn't resist the cold. They used it, and the genius extended to the landscape. These shelters were never built just anywhere. They were placed on south-facing slopes or beside reflective ice plains, maximizing sunlight. Valleys shielded them from wind, while surrounding snowdrifts acted like natural insulation barriers. It was not chance. It was design environmental engineering at a scale that modern architecture still struggles to achieve sustainably. Their homes adapted automatically to their environment. When the world froze harder, their shelters became stronger, warmer, and safer. So who taught them all this? How did similar building styles appear thousands of miles apart? The evidence points to something remarkable. A network of shared knowledge across the Ice Age world. Generations of builders passed down their designs through oral teaching and observation. The best methods were remembered, replicated, and improved. Each home carried traces of the same blueprint, the same layering logic, the same orientation, the same composite materials. Across continents, the pattern repeats. That means these early humans didn't just invent shelter, they invented architecture. When researchers rebuilt one of these homes in modern conditions, the results stunned everyone. Outside temperature, 25°C. Inside, plus 14 degrees Celsius. No fire, no fuel, no technology. The structure stayed warm for days just by recycling body heat and earth insulation. Compare that to a modern house, which loses all heat within hours if the power goes out. That's the uncomfortable truth. Our ancestors built smarter than we think. They achieved energy independence in the harshest climate on Earth, using materials we now call primitive. Modern architects study their methods today to design off Arctic housing, and many admit Ice Age. Engineers beat them by 20,000 years. The Ice Age wasn't just about survival. It was about intelligence born of necessity, a time when failure meant death, and success meant a tradition passed down through generations. They built homes that didn't rally on fire, yet could outlast storms that would freeze modern buildings solid. They proved that true resilience isn't about high-tech solutions, it's about deep understanding of the environment. So next time you adjust your thermostat, remember, people once lived through endless winters in houses made of earth and bone, warm and alive, without a single spark. They didn't just survive the Ice Age, they mastered it, and maybe it. In a future where energy grows scarce and climate grows unpredictable, it'll be their forgotten genius, not our technology, that keeps us alive. If this changed how you see ancient engineering, hit that like button, subscribe for more rediscovered genius, and tell me in the comments what other ancient mysteries should we uncover next.